New jobs from old logs in the Amazon. We recently took a trip to Ecuador, visited the Kalari Cooperative near Tena, Ecuador. Went to several of the small remote villages. We took some equipment donated by Grandberg International and Logasol USA. It was quite a challenge to put this together, but here we insert a Steel 071 into an Alaska mill from Grandberg.
We want to lock this one first.
These are old low-speed saws. We used to cut them with the tip of their chainsaw. So here's an old dead tree that had been down for decades. We thought it was totally worthless. And now we're slapping it up with an Alaska mill. These guys are all pretty skeptical. A lot of giggling going on. Not quite sure what everybody's thinking because of the language barrier. But we made some slabs and showed them that this is actually beautiful wood inside. They hope to make furniture for their coffee house and their offices there in Ecuador. Each guy got a chance to try it out. There's a lot of muscling going on. Luckily this wood was fairly soft, but we ended up with 4 nice slabs. We see a lot of furniture there, but it was all cut freehand. Second day we crossed the river and hike up a really hot gravel road to Ramon's farm. This crossing is important where a lot of wood from remote areas comes across to the road where it's loaded on trucks and taken to market. All this wood was cut freehand with chainsaw. That's the traditional way. There's never been a sawmill here. Here's the crew for the day. We went to a really old log. They said it'd been there down 18 years. They'd cut up the good portions earlier and just left this butt log thinking that it was totally worthless. Really hard wood. You had a tough time getting through it. One of the issues is that they have .404 chain, a real heavy-duty wide chain, and they use Duramatic solid nose bars that they run their chains pretty loose, and the combination means that the chain was chattering in the cut and gouging to the side and making a very rough cut, taking a lot of power. But we gradually got the feel of it and made some nice slabs. This is Elias Alvarado. He's the production director for the cooperative. He'll soon be traveling in the United States and we'll be visiting here at Timber Green Farm to see what we actually do here. Notice no one's wearing any safety gear at all. We did finally get that slab cut off and it was just beautiful. Carlos Pozo, the general coordinator, was amazed. He says, "That's just firewood to us. We throw that kind of wood away." Sean also found some slabs that were left over from the sawmilling there 18 years ago. And it was kind of spalted wood, very beautiful. And she accepted Elias's challenge to make something beautiful from that wood. The local chainsaw dealer, the guy in the blue shirt here, Fausto Casco, was very skeptical of what we were doing too, but when we bought a brand new chainsaw, he became our best friend. On the third day, I put the Logasol timber jig on the new Steel 381 powerhead, and we started to do a little cutting with the timber jig. We found a piece of old crotchwood that had just been laying in the weeds that they again said was just firewood, had been discarded. Turned out to be very hard, but very beautiful. Everybody took a chance. Notice we're wearing safety glasses today, so to be in the magazine article, they agreed to put on the safety glasses. Well, we brought some of this wood home too to make some products out of to show that this, what they call waste, is very beautiful. I think this new tool will help many of these farmers be more efficient and produce better quality lumber. Again, we crossed the ferry boat to the far side and hiked up the road. Here's Elias carrying the timber jig. This log was so hard that we could not saw it with the .404 chain. Fortunately, Logasol donated a 3/8" bar and Pico chain, and we just put that on the Alaska mill. So it was a much smaller, narrower kerf with finer teeth, and it's also a sprocket nose bar, so that the chain tension is much greater, and that made a huge difference in how smooth the cut was and how fast we could cut. So we really appreciate Logasol and giving that equipment. This wood is just beautiful, super hard. And here's the crew that day in the jungle. One of the problems of the Alaska mill is you can't get oil into the chainsaw. So here I showed how you can use a leaf and you can use it as a funnel and pour the oil down the stem right into the chainsaw opening. We finally got everybody to let the saw do the work. I call this four-finger chainsaw milling, where you have your thumb and finger run the throttle, and only two fingers are needed by your right hand to kind of ease the saw along, letting it do all the work, where gravity and the action of the teeth actually pull the saw through. So a properly filed chain will saw with very little effort. Again, everybody tried it, even the women all tried it, and quickly were able to master this technique. This is my own Alaska mill with two power heads, and we're going to get them this equipment so they can continue to saw this big log. This wood is really heavy, really hard. That slab weighs about 1,000 pounds, so it had to be cut in half lengthwise just to be moved.
Everybody say hi!
And it's just beautiful that everybody's just thrilled that this old log turned out to be so beautiful inside. Now the hard work starts. It's about 150 yards down to the river. And these slabs are so heavy. 4 men, or this guy, could haul it down to the river. Today I got these fellows to wear the hard hat with the earmuffs and visor, saying that they could be in a movie on YouTube, but they'd have to wear the hat. So in one day we went from no protective equipment to safety glasses and then a hard hat with earmuffs. So one guy is busy trying to stop the leaks in the boat while everybody else is loading it up. There was a lot of weight, several thousand pounds of wood plus our whole crew. Elias told us a couple years ago, I thought it was impossible for us to create these large slabs from just these waste logs. I couldn't comprehend how to create value from something just laying in the forest. I never imagined it would be this easy. We needed so little to get started. We did not have the vision to use our scrap wood and make it into something valuable like furniture. I could see the finished product in books on the internet, but didn't understand how to make it from our own trees. Now I feel my eyes have been opened with this lesson, as if we've woken up from our slumber and can now initiate a new woodworking facility. Our families have small income, and wood is something that will contribute to their overall family earning. It will make a difference for our village and community members. It helps us rest at night as leaders, because our job is to find a way to create alternative income sources to the deforestation and contamination. This is the cooperative's main facility, where the cacao beans are fermented and then dried in solar dryers. We're going to be using one of the new solar dryers to dry this lumber. They will now use these buildings also to dry some lumber. Here we're waxing the end to prevent checking and cleaning the logs up a little bit. Edison, one of the co-op board members, says, "Our families trust us to find ways for them to add value to their cacao by making chocolate. But the wood seems even easier than cacao, and nearly everyone has hardwood pieces resting on their farms that they could make income from." The Kalari Cooperative has over 850 family farm members owning over 50,000 acres. They're a fun group to work with, and they're growing quickly. I can see why they've got a great cooperative spirit. So this wood's going to be stacked in the kiln. It's going to be strapped to hold it flat. And they say next time we visit, there'll be beautiful furniture in their office.
Chao. Ahí pueden salir.